Essex needed, and that could be the winning hit. It is. It's 6 for Lewis Gregory, and Somerset have won by 6 wickets. Tremendous win for Somerset, chasing down 194 to win, with Will Smead leading the way.
Hello there, this is Always Look on the Bright Side of Life, the Somerset Cricket Podcast. My name's Ian Shepherd. Joining me this evening to rejoice as we have done the championship double over Essex for the first time, well, in quite a long time. Unfortunately, Dan can't make it this evening to furnish us with the statistics. But President of the club, Peter Wanless, is with us. Peter, dare to dream, dare to dream.
Yeah, what a wonderful game that was. Hugely enjoyable, and lots of great individual performances and a kind of collective result for us to reflect on.
Absolutely. And also with us tonight is the voice of cricket on BBC Radio Somerset, Anthony Gibson. Anthony, well, that was all very disappointing, really. It was hard to see any outcome other than a draw.
Well, you ask Peter and ask him what he thought the outcome was going to be on Saturday evening. And honestly, you know, the pitch was doing absolutely nothing on Saturday, and Allison and Critchley batted really, really well. And Jack Leach tried his heart out. He tried everything he knows to get the wickets, and Pretorius bowled a brilliant spell after tea as well. And the wickets just wouldn't come. And the longer it went on, the more resigned I became to this. You know, this is going to be, it's going to be like not quite like the Yorkshire game or the Glamorgan game where we couldn't bowl them out and we lost. But this was going to be a game where we couldn't bowl them out and it would be a draw. But, you know, the old firm made the breakthrough. Leach and Abel. Caught Abel, bowled Leach. Brilliant.
I like to think, Gibbo, you were sort of playing a little bit of reverse psychology with the cricketing gods.
No,
if you'd have tweeted, looking forward to turning up tomorrow to see an inevitable Somerset victory, then it would have been Worcestershire all over again. So many thanks for taking one for the team, Gibbo, on that one. Michael Vaughan thought it was very amusing as well. Did you see he tweeted you and put some sort of funny slapstick face emojis on there or whatever? But yeah,
I mean, Gibbo is right. I also we chatted to one another before play on the Sunday, and I was in exactly. I hadn't heard quite how trenchant he'd been about his views the night before, but Sunday morning I was I definitely felt the same way. I was convinced it was going to be a draw, and we'd been talking ourselves late on Saturday afternoon into a kind of Worcestershire situation that we're going to bowl 200 overs again. We're going to exhaust ourselves, and then we're going to have to go down to Sussex just like we did last year, and the same thing was going to happen. And we were kind of consoling ourselves by the fact that, well, at least Craig Overton will be fit to come back, and Lewis isn't bowling very much, and so perhaps it's a different bowling attack, and it won't be quite the same. But Toppers was wandering around not having that view, and saying exactly what I heard Jason Kerr say as well, that effectively this team is 3 for 3, and if you can get yourself into that position and hope and bowl, and that little bit of the wicket at one end started taking spin, didn't it? And so that had to be exploited, and I can't remember any wickets being taken at the river end, but there was just something in the wicket at that end which was enough, with Jack bowling with great patience to exploit, and Archie too, and yeah, it was a wonderful result.
It seemed as soon as Critchley was out on that fourth morning, the pitch just seemed to wake up, and it was spinning about 6 inches more. Every fielder looked, 6 inches taller. There was more of an air of confidence about the team. You just felt that just needed to make that breakthrough on the Sunday morning, get a foot in the door, put them under a bit more pressure, and then all of a sudden things can change, and it did change very quickly. I mean, we're sort of putting the cart before the horses. Should we rewind back to, well, was it Wednesday? No, the day before. We had the great news that Craig Overton and his wife Asher had given birth to a body bouncing baby girl. So congratulations to all the Overton family, proud grandparents Mark and Helen, and Uncle Jamie. I'm sure there was much rejoicing, but of course it did mean that Craig Overton missed that game on paternity leave. And what was the stat? We haven't won a game of Champo cricket without Craig since September 2019. So 7 long years without that particular duck being broken. And then Tom Wesley winning the toss, inserting Somerset. And wow, I wasn't there, but watching it on the stream, it seemed that Messrs Cook and Porter, oh, Peter's had enough, Cook and Porter, Gibbo, were very uncook and unporter-like.
Rusty.
They look awful.
Distinctly rusty. I don't know if they've been playing in the One Day Cup, but the two things combined, Wesley winning the toss and putting Somerset in on a perfectly respectable pitch, and then Essex bowling badly in the first session, got us off to a flying start. And I must say, Josh Thomas, I was really impressed with the way he played. You know, he's always looking to score. He's an aggressive opening batsman. And Lammonby just looked in the form of his life. I've never seen him bat better, I don't think. It may be back in 2020, but, you know, he was much younger then. But in recent years, I've never seen him bat better. And he was so unlucky to get that ball to just flick the back of his pad, and it was going down the leg side and flicked around onto his leg stump when he was batting like a god. But, you know, Nicholls looked solid. He's not the most exciting batsman I've ever watched. You know,
he was getting criticised for scoring too slowly, but I thought, well,
he dug in. He's a bit
the game plan.
Yeah, he's a bit like Dean Elgar, you know.
Yeah, you bat once and you bat big, and that's what we did.
It's substance over style, and you know, I think he will. I think he will bring some real. Batted well in the second innings as well. He'll bring some real solidity into that top order, and allow the stroke makers to play around him. And I thought he batted really well, but Josh Thomas, and again in the second innings, Josh Thomas batted really, really well, assertively. You know, he didn't let Harmer settle. And I think, you know, in Lammonby and Thomas, we may at last have found an opening pair that, you know, that will stay the course. I'm not betting the house on it, but the way they started against Essex, admittedly against some pretty ragged bowling, but the mindset looked good, the strokes looked good, the foot movement looked good. You know, the whole thing. It sort of inspired confidence and set the innings off on exactly the right foot.
I think if we'd have sat here, you know, this time last year and we're talking about Josh Thomas 100 at the top of the order leading our charge towards potentially a county championship, we would have maybe thought we were a little bit pie in the sky. But as Gibbo was saying, I don't know if you called it, Peter, where you sort of dropped in and out, but Josh Thomas, very positive. Very uncomplicated player. I'm not sure if Peter's frozen or not. Oh, he's back. Very positive.
I lost sound.
Sorry. I was just saying that Josh Thomas looks very positive. He's a very uncomplicated player. If the ball's there, he'll go and hit it. He doesn't seem to have a lot of second guessing himself. I know this is a sort of a bit chicken and the egg, whereas when you're in good form, your footwork's a lot better and you are a lot more positive. And, you know, when you're not, it's very difficult to sort of get that stride and you're a bit tentative, a bit nervous. But the same with Lammonby as well. They're both in really good form. You know, Lammonby 6 years on from that excellent breakthrough season he had in the Bob Willis back in 2020. I mean, there's a lot to like.
Yes, and because I've missed a little bit, I don't know what you've said and what you've not said while I've been away. But Henry Nicholls must be a wonderful person to bat with. And as Josh kind of accumulated the runs and got into those sort of nervous 90s, to have Nicholls at the other end just chatting to him from time to time, I think was really valuable too. So it really feels it strengthens the order to have someone like him for the others to be able to bat around.
Yeah, coming in at 4, which do you think that's the right place for him, or do you have him up at 3?
Well, no, they put Goldsworthy in at 3 in order to break up the left-handers, which seemed to me to make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Particularly with Harmer in the Essex side, and I'm quite happy with Nicholls coming in at 4. If you've got 2 left-handed openers and then Goldsworthy at 3, Nicholls at 4, Rue at 5, Abel at 6, It's a very, very strong batting lineup, and I think Archie Vaughan at 7, either Overton or Gregory at 8, 9. They bat deep,
Yeah.
and they bat well. It's a well balanced batting lineup as well, as
Yeah.
strong I think as Somerset have had for a long time.
Especially with Miguel Pretorius back in form as well.
Well, he was an absolute revelation. I was saying on commentary, oh my God, here comes Pretorius. Don't expect him to last for long. But he actually, after one or two early aberrations, he batted really sensibly. He got the field set back by playing a couple of attacking shots, and then he just knocked it around. And that 72 last wicket partnership was arguably the difference between the two sides.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if we'd been chasing 170 in the fourth innings instead of 102, which is what it would have been, it could have been a very different outcome. So, all credit to Miguel. I've been, a little bit rude about his batting so far this season, averaging 5.5. But, he showed his true colours, and good luck to him. It's a very, very important partnership. And James Rue, well, class as ever.
Well done for saving him up, Miggy. You're absolutely right. I mean, one minor criticism is we didn't quite manage to snag that fourth batting bonus point, which looked pretty much nailed on at 350 for 5 overnight, with what seemed like plenty of overs to get them. If we'd got off to a good start, we'd have maybe had a tilt at getting 450 in the 110 overs.
Yeah.
We got a bit stuck at the start of the second day.
Yeah.
Again, it happened to us at Hampshire. It happened to us in the home game against Yorkshire. There's something about just getting it going again on the second day. We really slowed up, because I agree with you. We ought to have scored 400, but in the end, it was more of an achievement to prevent Essex from getting that third bowling point than it was us getting the extra batting point. I wondered about Pretorius. Dan would probably know if he'd ever batted at number 11 in his life, but perhaps that's what he needed. He needed to be reminded that on his current form, this was his place in the order, and with a bit of luck, he's done enough to show that's not where he should be.
Well, I had him at number 11 in my team last week, just to give him a bit of a kick up the backside.
So did I.
Yeah, it was good to see that discretion was the better part of valour, and they didn't throw it away trying to get the 400.
Why did they say send Jake Ball as night watchman? Yeah, I mean, has Jack Leach refused to do it or something?
I don't know. It was because he never got going in the morning, did he?
Well, he was never going to. He's completely.
I know he sort of wasted a dozen balls, which if you sort of fast forward, we could have done with those.
Stands there in the crease and pokes his bat at the ball, in the hope that he might possibly make contact. Occasionally, has a big swish, and that's about it. Whereas for a night watchman, you really need someone who's not only going to see through the final overs on the night before, but it's going to be a nuisance to the fielding side the following morning. It's going to go on, as Jack has done on many occasions in the past. It just seemed a very strange choice. I can understand why they didn't send Pretorius in as a night watchman, given his form and his style of play. But Jake Ball, good bloke though he is, he really is. I wouldn't say he can't bat. That would be unfair, but he's not exactly in the form of his life with the bat.
No, and you took the words out of my mouth with those two parts of the role of being a night watchman. You've got to be able to do something the following morning, not just get your team in a bit of a hole just by blocking and blocking and blocking, not rotating the strike, starving a free scoring guy like James Rue of the strike, and then just getting him bogged down as well. So yeah, I think Jack Leach is the ideal night watchman. Solid defensive technique and can rotate when needed. Yeah. And it's not like it was Brett Lee steaming in at the whacker or anything, and you were worried about him wrapping one on the fingers. It was not exactly life-threatening bowling that he was going to be facing. So it was didn't really even need to worry about that.
It had been a relief to see Jack in the team at all, hadn't it? Given there were all these rumours flying around that at the charity match the day before, Trigo had
Hmm.
whacked Jack on
Yes.
the hand, and he was going to be injured, and he wasn't going to be able to bowl, and this was a terrible thing, and blah blah blah. I mean, I'm sure Jack could have been whacked on the hand in the nets
Yeah.
or in all sorts of other places, but he didn't seem to be
No, it
suffering.
was.
So conspiracy theorists might suggest that perhaps he wasn't able to hold the bat optimally relative to
Are you
Jake Paul, but
saying
I
that,
think that's pushing the point a bit, really.
are you saying that Trees is a sort of a sleeper agent for Knott still, or he's not quite? He was sent in to maybe injure Jack.
Well, I know from personal experience that Trigo is a wild bowler when faced with a less than capable batter. Because when I did my charity batting for the NSPCC, he hit me on the helmet first ball he bowled at me.
Sounds
Charming.
very nice of him.
Yeah.
He
You didn't
said
have
there's some sort
concussion tests in those days either. I was just told to get up and get on with it.
Oh, bless him. Yeah, maybe
I shall
Trigo was
I'll
hypnotised
remind him
by
of
Peter
that.
Moores a few years ago when he was still up at Trowbridge. But yeah, I did notice that Jack walked past one from sort of the very next over. Jack walked past one from Lewis Gregory, and I don't think he was stumped. He just retired himself very quickly, I think, to get that seen to by the physio. So
It was his right hand that he was hit.
His right hand, yeah, I think.
yeah, but yeah, I wasn't able to get to that game, but it looked like a really good event, and lots of money was raised for a very good cause.
And a great, I mean, over 2,500 people there, and a very different demographic of crowd coming in, and it would have been nice to see some more of those families in for the county championship cricket as well. But I think there clearly there's a market which we can stretch for cricket related activities in and around Taunton, which was really encouraging to see. So I'm glad it was a success. I'm glad they raised lots of money for a good cause, and yeah, I think we've learned quite a lot in terms of what we might do in and around future summers.
Excellent stuff. I am, of course, always available to play for any charity teams as necessary.
Yeah, your wicket keeping is appreciably better than my batting.
Well, I need to do a bit more yoga. I can't quite bend down at the minute. I'm still a bit stiff. I haven't really got into this season. I've sort of been a bit on and off. So let's try and
There
get
was
full.
another of the clips the club showed from that charity game was that an extraordinary ball from James Rue, which ragged almost sideways to Jack Leach. And as when we were getting extremely desperate to take a wicket on the third day, I was kind of hoping that James Rue wasn't going to take his pads off and have a bowl, despite that great spin, because we'd seen Ben Folkes be injured and out for 6 weeks as a
Yeah.
result of bowling for Surrey in a similar situation. But there was a point on I get my days mixed up. There was a point on the third day when it felt like we required some really lateral thinking to take any sort of wicket at all.
Yeah, 3 in the morning session and then nothing all day. So 412 all out then, and then an inspired first over from Lewis Gregory, double wicket maiden. Essex in all sorts, 3 wickets down with only 2 runs on the board. Bit of a partnership from Critchley and Pepper. Paul Walter scoring a few runs as well, but 158 all out. Only 3 batters getting into
Critchley
double
and Walter,
figures.
the partnership. And
1,
Walter was
2.
dropped by Goldsworthy
Yeah.
down at Long Leg. It was a bad, very unlike Lewis Goldsworthy. He was a very good fielder. And but fortunately we came. I mean, the Essex late order batting was pretty chaotic. I mean, they played some very poor shots. And I overheard Don Topley interviewing one of their coaches at the close of play, and he was very, very critical of the way they batted, because the pitch wasn't doing anything very much. But it was just one poor shot after another.
I saw Craig Overton on the start of the third day. He'd been warming up on the outfield, which provoked a whole load of other rumours that was he about to appear and take over from Lewis Gregory, though it was a bit too late for that. But actually, he was just kind of going through the motions and then heading off back to his fatherly duties. So I congratulated him on becoming a father, and we had a little chat about the state of the game, and he said that we'd done extremely well to get them out for so few runs, and that he encouraged me to encourage everyone else to be patient because he thought it was going to take a long time to take the wickets, but you know the lads were up for it and they were going to do it. I went back prepared to wait some time for the wickets. I also went back to the people I was sitting with and said, "Oh, I've just had a chat with Craig Overton," and all they wanted to know was what's the name of his daughter. And of course, I'd not asked that. I said, well, when I said I had a chat, we had a chat about cricket. We didn't have a chat about other things. Oh, typical man. Anyway, Otterley, 00. She'll be 007, won't she? For Somerset at some point in the future, we hope.
Bless. Well, yeah. Congratulations again to Craig and Asher. Always, hopefully, fingers crossed that will be a county champion in a few weeks' time. Yeah, I saw the wicket alerts. I wasn't able to keep up to date with that, but I think when you look at that, I wasn't aware that it was such a deluge of poor shots to sort of bring to a climax that Essex innings. It's always a tricky decision whether or not to enforce the follow-on, especially as you're never quite sure what the pitches are going to do at Taunton latterly in the game. Are they going to get better or are they going to spin? This one kind of did both. It sort of best for batting on the third day, which is normally what you'd expect, and then a bit of deterioration on that fourth morning. But we have seen them, Gibbo, go absolutely flat as a pancake. So it can't have been an easy decision for the powers that be to decide whether to enforce that follow-on or not.
Lewis Gregory having being injured and landing on the ball and getting a nasty bruise on his left hip, so he was out of action. But I was all for enforcing the follow-on. If Somerset are going to win the county championship, we've got to win games of cricket. That means being aggressive, and the aggressive option was to enforce the follow-on. The danger, if we hadn't enforced the follow-on, was that we bat too long on a pitch getting flatter and flatter and flatter.
Yeah,
and we'd make the game safe and effectively make the game safe for Essex in the process. So my co-commentators, Mark Davis and Don Topley, were all for batting again. But the bowlers they were rolled over Essex in, I don't know, 40 or 50 overs, something like
45
that.
overs. Yeah,
42.4.
So it wasn't as if the bowlers had huge amounts of overs in their legs or anything like that. And it was going to be spin. It was going to be Leach and Vaughan on whom we would be relying to take the 10 wickets in the second innings. So I thought it was a no-brainer to enforce the follow-on, and it's very much in the recent Somerset tradition as well. I think Tom Abel, when he was captain, every time he had the opportunity to enforce the follow-on, he did so, and I think that's the right sort of aggressive approach. You want to play winning cricket. If we're ever going to win the county championship, that's the approach that we need to have.
If you do bat on, you leave yourself with a lot of decisions to make.
Exactly.
How many do you need? Yeah. How long do you need to bowl them out?
Exactly.
What tempo do you go at? Is the pitch getting better? Is the pitch getting worse? Whereas if you do enforce the follow-on, you're almost putting yourself in a position where you know exactly what you've got to do to win the game. Then if you're batting on, you've got all sorts of different variables. You bowl again, you just know you've got to bowl them out as quickly as possible. End of story. So I think
it's really difficult to judge how long you need to bowl a side out in the final innings at Taunton. I think you've got to have enough runs to be so far ahead that you can set attacking fields and not have to worry about that dimension. And because you need a lot of time, you've got to have a lot of runs. It is Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, to be honest, I thought we would bet again, but on reflection, I'm sure it was the right decision.
I mean, just got to look back to that Worcester game and judging how long you need to bat on.
Yeah,
We thought, I'm sure we all here thought 200 overs would be more than enough to take those 10 Worcester wicket. It was not the case, unfortunately. So I always think there's just that kind of sat in the back of the captain's mind that, if you do, judging a declaration at Taunton is very difficult because I mean, look at the Warwickshire game where a couple of years ago where Tom Abel made that magnificent 100 in the second innings. The pitch went flat as a pancake, chased down 400 on the last day.
400, yeah.
yeah.
So I'm all for just taking that decision out of your hands and just trying to play your best cricket to win the game from the position that you're in. Right. Yes, Lewis Gregory, he was off the field for quite a while. I think he came back on the evening of the third day. Opened the bowling on Sunday morning.
Well, he came back on
gingerly, shall we say?
I mean, before you get to that point, yes, he came back on, but he was hobbling. He could barely walk from one end of the wicket to the other. He dropped at least one, maybe two catches when perhaps the pain in his side was distracting him from the job in hand. I don't know. I mean, it's good to have him on the pitch because he's such an inspirational captain and all the rest of it. But it did feel like, what are we doing here? So it was really encouraging, then to see him come out and bowl something. But as you say, it was it was a gingerly performance, and he managed 2 overs. Actually, he managed 2 overs. Sam Cook only managed 2 overs in the final innings, and they had similar figures. So maybe he's just,
They were 2 pretty ragged.
Ready for Sussex.
He went for 18.
Didn't look right.
I think it was more to I don't know. I mean, you could test the water.
Went for 18 in his 2 overs, Lewis Gregory, and that was the nadir of the whole thing, because we were all pinning our hopes on early wickets, and dear old Lewis comes on and sort of runs up and bowls at half pace and gets hit all over the place.
Yeah.
And Essex get off to a fast start.
Maybe it was just mind games, We thought,
I just wonder whether he was just trying it out just to see if he could bowl.
Yeah.
With Hove in mind coming up. But he could bowl. He was still limping a bit, but nothing like. I mean, as Peter was saying, he was actually hopping from one end of the pitch to the other on the Saturday evening, because he was obviously in a huge, a hell of a lot of pain. It's very nasty injury. So all credit to him. But the Australian school of thought was that, why is he on? Why is he on for the last session? It should have been on for all 3 sessions. If he can walk as captain, he should be out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Poor old Lewis. He's been in the wars a bit in the last few weeks. I mean, the old hamstring injury that he suffered up at Trent Bridge, and then he's sort of been bowling through that, and then suffered this sort of freak injury in the last game. So hopefully, fingers crossed, he's ready, fit and raring to go for.
Well, I think he will be, because
in a couple of days' time.
The logic of not asking for an injury replacement was that if they did that and got one, then Gregory wouldn't be able to play against Sussex. So if they're applying that sort of logic, it implies that he will indeed be fit to play against Sussex, and just as well, because we need him.
From hobbling on the third evening to bowling, albeit gingerly, on Sunday morning, there was a clear line of progress there. So touch wood. Captain will be fit to take the field on Thursday morning. Right. I had family down, so I could have snuck up to Taunton on Sunday, but I thought, if I go, it's going to be Worcester all over again, and I'll get home and they'll be like, "Why did you go to Taunton, Ian? It was a complete waste of time. It was a bloody draw. You should have stayed at home with your family." So I was keeping an eye on it via stream and text update, and I thought, well, as soon as we got rid of Allison, as soon as we got rid of Critchley, I thought, yeah. And they saw the way that the pitch was behaving, because I think, you know, once we got the foot in the door, you get a bit more confident. Pitch just seems to start spinning a bit more. Body language is a bit better. The confidence is a bit better. More pressure on the opposition. 4-12 all out. 102 to win. Job done. Made a little bit of ground knots.
As I said earlier, a bit of the pitch was spinning at one end. It wasn't like all of a sudden the whole pitch became a dramatic minefield or whatever. So I felt that we would be able to chase a reasonable total if we had to. But yeah, it didn't feel entirely straightforward. But I do agree with you. Once the wickets started falling, they kept falling, and between Leach and Vaughan, they did a great job. And then obviously the left-handers came out, and Harmer couldn't land it in the place usefully, in the place where the action was occurring on the wicket. And I think that suited us. So we kind of whacked as many from that end as we could, where he couldn't have a great effect, and it was job done.
Yeah, don't forget the role that Tom Abel played there. And the catch that he took to get rid of Allison was a brilliant going down to low to his left, a fantastic catch. And caught Abel, bowled Leach, the three key wickets, Critchley, Allison, and Pepper. It's the good old firm. Both Taunton boys as well.
Absolutely, and remiss of us to not mention Tom Abel's contribution in the first innings as well.
Yeah, he batted beautifully. Until as Peter was saying, he and James Rue became strangely becalmed, and what they failed to do really was rotate the strike, which is very unlike the pair of them. But Essex did bowl well. Porter and Cook are not to be underestimated. And Snater bowled very well as well.
They were a different kettle of fish on that second morning. The ball that Snater produced to knock over Tom Abel's off stump was an absolute snore. It would have done for a lot of players in world cricket, I can tell you that. So, but after not having had any meaningful time in the middle since... Can't even remember when. He had
one game in the 100, didn't he?
Yeah,
got 20 odd, but
So
he looked good.
Yeah. Pressure game, county championship on the line, produces again. Yeah, well done, Abes. Fantastic to see you back fit and firing. We mentioned Thomas and Lammerby's positive approach in the first innings. They did it again in the second innings. I think we talked about when you're chasing, if we were chasing 170, it would have been a potentially different kettle of fish. I think you're chasing sort of 90, 100, 110. If you can get to 50 or 60 without loss, that's it. You pretty much got the game then. The opposition sort of waved the white flag 99 times out of 100. It's plain sailing from there.
I just thought the whole mindset was really, really encouraging. I know, it's the sort of Australian dictum: if you've got to chase down a small target, then chase it hard, and that seemed to be the mindset. And they went out there and they never allowed Harmer to settle, and that was the key thing, because if there was going to be a threat, it was Simon Harmer. Admittedly, there wasn't so much action outside the left-handers off stump as outside the right-handers, but even so, it was doing a bit. And he's a world-class spin bowler, and I think the way that Lammerby and Thomas didn't sort of go mad or anything like that, but they sort of asserted their authority. They went after him. They weren't going to allow him just to bowl at them. They were going to respond. Meet fire with fire. And that as a sort of mindset for the whole team, I think is really, really encouraging. That we are going to play aggressively, we are going to play assertively. If we get the chance to enforce the follow-on, we'll do that. We have confidence in our own abilities. We see the opportunity to win the county championship at last, and we're going to blooming well grasp it if we can. And I think that I thought the whole of the last day spoke really well, and in a sense the third day as well, because although nothing was happening, Leach and Pretorius never gave up. They kept trying to take wickets. So I think the whole mindset of the team is in the right place at the moment, and weather and other results permitting, this I hesitate to say it could be our year, but obviously it could be our year, and I think it's the team have got the right approach at the moment, all things being equal, to make it our year. Let's put it like that.
And I think
On a
there's enough.
light-hearted,
Sorry,
on a
Peter,
light-hearted note, they paced the final innings just in time to allow the cake to be served in the long room to the members who had sacrificed their Sundays to come along for tea. And I think there might have been a revolution if they'd batted so fast that everything was packed up and people didn't get their slice of cake. So it was
how the other half
absolutely
lived.
on the button.
Presidential problems, those are, aren't they?
I was just going to say, I think there's enough of a spine in that dressing room. Obviously, Sergeant Jace at the very top, Lewis, Craig, Jack, Abes, who were there in 2019, were the last time we had a real golden opportunity of winning the championship, and let it slip through our fingers. And I think they will be very keen to, tell the guys, this is what went wrong. We've just got to keep playing the positive cricket. We cannot afford any second guessing. We are a brilliant side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's just go out and play as well as we can. No second guessing, no nerves, back yourself. An almost Bazball type message of just have complete confidence in what you're doing. Don't stumble before you make that final hurdle.
Right.
Fingers crossed. I just want to touch on Archie Vaughan as well. He had a pretty, very brief innings with the bat. What did he get? Third ball duck, was it? Yeah, third ball duck, cancelled by Jamie Porter. Toiled away for what seemed like an eternity without reward, but to pick up those 3 crucial wickets at the end of the Essex innings, or Essex second innings, mop up that tail and do the business there with 3 absolute chappers as well. I think that would have done him the world of good as well. It's a little boost for him before making the trip down to Hove in a few days, because he had a pretty rotten game apart from that. So good to see him. Hopefully that will give him a bit more confidence. Would you keep him down at 7? I think I would.
Yeah,
I think it gives the side a great deal of balance. I saw sort of people on Twitter saying, allow him be down to 3, drop Goldsworthy and have Vaughan open. I'm like, no. Not a good idea at the minute.
We have to squeeze Craig Overton back in somewhere, though.
Yeah, I think we do. Well, somebody on Twitter said that Jake Ball was carrying a niggle. I must have missed that, but
yeah,
he did
went
go off just at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that pretty much solves it then, doesn't it? It's Overton in for Ball, unless it's a real green seamer down at Hove, but I see that being unlikely with the weather that we've had, I think.
Don't know. I mean, they've got Sean Hunt.
Yes,
in the
Sean
side
Hunt.
of the 6, and he bowled it. He bowled them to victory against us, whenever it was.
9 wickets up at Edgbaston in the week.
Yeah. He's a good, very good bowler.
Likes bowled against us, doesn't he? Only came into the side because Ollie Robinson was unavailable for that game, was it last year, and blew us away. We didn't really know too much about him. Hopefully not as much of an unknown quantity this year. So just have a little look round the other games in the Division 1. They were all results, which means that the top 3 of Notts, Somerset and Warwickshire have pulled away at the top. Notts 135, Somerset gaining 2 points on Notts 133, Warwickshire 130, then the gap to Glamorgan 110, Sussex and Yorkshire both on 108, Essex on 107, Surrey on 94, Leicester on 91, and Hampshire on 75. I forget who it was on Twitter said that our final game of this season could seal the county championship for Somerset whilst also relegating Surrey.
Yeah.
Getting ahead of yourselves a bit there, I
Yes, I think
Well,
let's just keep that,
think.
let's just take one game at a time, shall we?
absolutely. What is it they said? Well, I mean, if I'd have said to you, 24th of August, Surrey will have only won one championship game all
Well,
season.
it's their top order batting. It's been the problem. Burns and Sibley haven't been doing the business, and they have relied very much. And Ollie Pope got 100 in the last game, but the others didn't get any runs at all.
No, that was yeah, all low scoring games as well, which helped us. Not a lot of batting points being picked up elsewhere. Yeah, I mean, Notts is sorry. I mean, Notts that first morning. See, this is where I did have all the scorecards up, and I can't find the bloody things. Do excuse me while I check these out. So yeah, what were Notts? They were about 40 for 5, weren't they, on that first morning?
Yeah.
And Patterson
Nice
White scored
Yeah.
70 odd. Yeah.
Yeah,
They're a good side,
in the context of their season.
They're going to take a lot of beating, I think.
Yeah,
Especially if you look at their run-in, which isn't too tough.
yeah. So I mean, the best thing we can hope for going forward, then they play Warwickshire at Edgbaston.
Low-scoring draw, plenty of rain. Plenty of rain is what.
Well, you'd hope so. I mean, Warwickshire after some of the rows they produced last season, they have a look at what their head groundsman Gary Barwell said on Twitter this week. They've been going for sort of a more. They've taken that on board and they tried to produce more result pitches, which kind of is borne out by the fact that they are now third in the championship and in with a real shout of winning it. So, it just goes to show that you can't win the championship on flat pitches. So it's unlikely that could be a draw. What's the forecast looking like for this week? Any good?
Not good.
Not good. Well,
Thundery showers.
Rain. So could be I mean, the ideal result is obviously a draw there and we beat Sussex. Worst case scenario, we lose at Sussex and one of those two wins, because that then will be a gap. If it's a draw, I think with us only losing 8 point.
I'd honestly be very surprised if we lost at Sussex, given the weather forecast and the strength of our batting, and the fact they won't have Ollie Robinson. I mean, Sean Hunt is a threat, but very very useful side Sussex, but I'd be very surprised if we lost at home. I think it may be difficult to win because of the weather.
Yeah, without the weather, we'd have won our game at Taunton, wouldn't we?
Yeah,
against
absolutely.
them. So
yeah.
we've
Beaten
sort of
by
got their
an
measure
innings,
once. Yeah.
I mean, just rubber stamp it. Are we just keeping the same team and dropping Jake Ball for Craig Overton?
Yeah. 100%.
I think so.
Yep. I think so. Looks a balanced side. I mean, if there's a question about Lewis's fitness, I don't think there is a question. I mean, it was a bad bruise, but it's not muscular and it's not tendons, so there's no reason why he shouldn't be fit. And the fact he bowled those 2 overs shows that he's not quite it's not quite there. But I think by Thursday he'll be as fit as he's ever likely to be. Go through there, right? Yeah, absolutely, definitely. Yeah, looking forward to it. I shall be in Euro Disney or Disneyland Paris or whatever it's called, so I'll be trying to keep up as best I can while on Tower of Terror and all the other nonsense that's going on there. So
we've got to say something about Somerset women.
We have, yes. We've got to say
they're into finals day.
This competition, the worst promoted competition in the world, the ECB Women's T20 County Cup. I was looking for the scorecard on Cricinfo, not there. But basically, we batted first against Hampshire at the nursery ground at Utilita Bowl. Sophie Love got plenty again. We made about, 202, and they were about 170, were they? I'm going to try and find this scorecard now.
Yeah.
It'll be on MV Play. Let me quickly look that up.
We made 207 for 7.
Yeah.
with Sophie Luff getting 80, Heather Knight 44 in 30 deliveries, Charlie Dean 21. And then we restricted Hampshire to 172 all out. With
Lola Harris was the pick of the bowlers,
Lola
I believe.
Harris, 3 for 18.
On 4, I believe.
Neve Holland, 3 for 33.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good, strong, all-round performance.
So that finals day is at Old Trafford on Saturday. I believe tickets are only a tenner. If there is, I think there's a page on the club website about possible coach travel if there's enough of an interest. So pop along there if you can. But yeah, if you can get up to Old Trafford on Saturday and support the girls, I'm sure that'll be much appreciated. And it could be Somerset's first silverware of the season.
We're in the second semi-final against Surrey. And who knows, we might even end up playing Essex in the final.
My God, there's an omen if there ever was one.
And we're not out of contention in the Women's Metro Bank either.
No, did we record?
Because that was another victory over Essex.
We need to be in the top 3. The Blaze and Hampshire are well ahead, 46 and 41 respectively. But Warwickshire 27, Durham 24, both from 12 games. Those two. Somerset women 23 from 11. So we could easily sneak up into 3rd place.
I don't think we've recorded since we went to Chelmsford and absolutely spanked Essex to get a bonus point, did we?
Yeah.
No, because it was the day before.
It was, so that was. Yeah, I mean that was a hell of an effort. We were talking about no Heather Knight in the batting lineup. Obviously, Danny Gibson and Charlie Dean missing that one due to international commitments. I was keeping an eye on it. 266 for 8 Essex made in their 50 overs, and then Bex Odgers and Sophie Luff opening partnership of 223 33 overs. Bodge finishing unbeaten on 133. Luffy made 103. Emma Corney made 11. Good to see her back on the park. Neve Holland 6 not out, winning by 8 wickets with 10 overs and 3 balls remaining, securing that all important bonus point for winning inside 40 overs. So pretty much a fantastic week for Somerset and not a great one for Essex. Boo-hoo. What a pity. Never mind.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see. It was nice to see toppers.
It was.
And to send him back defeated on all fronts.
I mean, we do give toppers a bit of stick, but he takes it. He credit where credit is due. He gave Somerset the praise they deserve for a pretty good win and no sort of sense of sour grapes or whatever. I did catch your conversation, Gib, about the badgers that have been invading Basildale Topley.
Yeah, well, just 10 yards away from me is a trough that's been vandalised by a blooming badger, dug up all the petunias in it. And Toppers has the same problem. So that's one thing that, it actually lives in Suffolk, not Essex, but Suffolk and Somerset have in common.
Well,
badger problems.
I did enjoy your suggestion of having a piss around the flower. You're probably not going to find a shortage of volunteers to go and piss in Don Topley's garden. So, only joking, Toppers. We love
the
you.
Title of the podcast.
I cannot put that out in the public domain, Mr. President. Deary me, but I'm disappointed because I would like to have caught up with Toppers. He's a lover of cricket, and he's since he's got a bit of a. I do think he's got a little bit of a soft spot for us down in Somerset, despite what a lot. Anywho,
and he's looking forward to Reese, his son, coming down to playing for Surrey in the last game of the season.
Oh, he's unretired from red ball cricket, is he?
Well, Toppers seemed to think that he might be in the Surrey team, so we'll see.
Hey, maybe Tom Curran will be in it as well.
Oh.
I know. Well, do you want to risk that? Do you want to potentially risk an unbeaten Tom Curran 100?
Well, the trouble is they could have all of their England players back, couldn't they?
Yeah. Well, they've got that many.
Surrey side.
They've got Atkinson, Lauren,
Jamie Smith.
oh, Jamie Smith as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
I already know I can't make it to most of that game, so we need to wrap it up before then. Actually, we need
what?
to finish it off at Headingley.
What could possibly be more important than that? Oh my word, dearie
Yeah,
me, that is.
I haven't missed a day of the county championship at Taunton this season, which is unprecedented in my
Very good.
entire life. And the one time I'm not going to be able to be there is that final game, except for the afternoon of the fourth day. So and I
All
don't think any
right.
of us want it to be that tense.
If there
But
was
again, we're
ever
getting ahead
dereliction,
of ourselves.
I was going to say, if there was ever dereliction of presidential duty, that
I
was
know.
it. That would be it. Um, what else do we need to talk about then? Email would have gone out to members this week. There is going to be an EGM on the 14th of September to, I believe, Peter, formally ratify the appointment of the new chair. So if you are a member and you haven't seen that in your inbox,
Do we know who the new chair is?
it comes from Civica Election Services. I got mine on the 21st of August, so have a look for that one if you haven't had yours.
His
Drop a message.
name is Matt Berryman. There was a little video from him that was shown at the members forum at close of play on the second night. I mean, the key thing to know if you're a member is that, I mean, this is really, really important. Look, the president is a ceremonial role. I can interfere in things and influence stuff here and there, but I'm accountable for nothing at all. The chair is the person who absolutely holds the authority in the club. And were there ever to be a vote, for example, to reduce the amount of county championship cricket or whatever, then the chair is the person in the room who casts the vote for the club. So it's vital that we have someone who we know, trust and respect. And this chap, Matt Berry, is being put forward by the board as their preferred candidate. I think it's right and proper that the members appoint this person. We talk about the importance of being a members club, and there's nothing more important than who your chair is. So do take an interest in the email, I would say, if you are a member, and do think about it's more important that you vote than you turn up at the EGM on the 14th of September, because by the time the EGM actually takes place, the votes have been cast and counted. So I think you'll have the chance to meet the new chair, assuming that he is elected stroke ratified by the members on that evening, which will be interesting. But quite a lot of us will be up in Leeds anyway on the 14th, because the following day is the beginning of our game against Yorkshire. So yeah, do look out for the email. It is important, and do vote if you can.
Very good.
I didn't see the video, but I'm just looking at the bio that came with the out with the email. He's Australian, is he?
Yeah, so look, I've not met him.
I mean, I'm not holding that against
I
him, but
was.
they're
I can.
creeping in. They're taking over.
Yeah, so I can tell you a bit about him. I have been on the nominations committee in the past, and I was involved in the recruitment and the appointment of Jamie as the CEO, but I've had nothing to do with this particular appointment. But yes, he was a very talented cricketer, I think, up to and including Australia under 19s. He had a very bad injury, a sort of recurring injury. He retired from the game aged, I think, about 23, and he's made a lot of money creating, growing and selling digital businesses out of Australia, but increasingly globally. He's just about to sell off, I think, his final big company, and he's now based in London. So he has some time to think about and participate in cricket related things. And so to have someone who can grow businesses, create businesses and grow businesses, that sounds really relevant. Not quite so sure about the selling, but there we are. Looks like an interesting CV.
Yeah.
So anyway, have a look. see what people think. Although he's Australian, Jamie is at pains to point out that he's not like a mate of Jamie's. They're not. They know one another reasonably well now because they've been talking to one another since he's become the preferred candidate for chair. But this isn't like a cozy takeover by a little cabal of Australians.
I was going to say,
Somerset County Cricket Club has a long and very happy relationship with Australia, dating right back to the great Sammy Woods.
Absolutely. And there is also another email that's gone out. I know a few people have said they haven't got it, which is to do with the members survey. So when would I have got that? I think that came on the 19th, I think. But have a look in your inbox for that, as well. There's a nice little survey there for you just to have your say with what's going on at the club. I'll just see if I can find mine. I've got so many emails. Yes, help shape the future of SCCC Members Survey 2026 is the link for that one. Right, so, and again, if you haven't got that one, contact the club and I'm sure they'll be able to send you a new one. Any listeners' questions then before we wrap this up for the week? Let's have a quick. Well, Harry Hayden says, if Lewis Gregory and Jake Ball are both unfit to play versus Sussex, Craig will hopefully be available. But who else comes in? Joshua or JT Langridge? It's a gamble, but I'd go for the latter. Now, JT did, I think he picked up 5 wickets against Notts in the second 11 game. Took place last week. There was a clever ball he bowled as well, pitched about 6 inches outside leg stump and took Matey's off bail. So he looks like he's bowling with picked up a bit of rhythm since the One Day Cup. Why's my Alexa just started playing? Alexa off. Not quite sure how it... Alexa off.
Let's hope that
there we go.
Let's hope that the scenario doesn't materialise.
I would hope so too. It is, yeah. I mean, we are fingers crossed. It does raise the question that we are almost sort of at the bare bones of our seam bowling department. No Alfie Ogborn as well. It's a big ask to ask the likes of James Theedham, JT Langridge or Kean Roberts to come in at this late stage of the season with the pressure of a championship run in to contend with. I mean, fingers crossed, we just got to keep those guys fit. I was just thinking about Craig missing this game, actually. There's no way that you would have rested him for this game. He said he doesn't want to be rested. He needs to play every game. I just wonder if the missing of this game will mean now that there is no doubt that he is going to play those next 5 back-to-back.
I've no idea.
I would think that he's...
The fact he was at Taunton on Saturday morning suggests that, you know, he's keeping himself ready to resume once he can. I
don't think, you know, unless his body's falling apart, I don't think there's any way now that Craig is going to miss any more of these any of these 5 games to come. Not a chance. Potentially they may have rested him, I don't know, for maybe, let's say, Leicester away in a couple of weeks just to break it up. But now, no, Craig is playing the rest of them. What did you guys think of the pitch at Leicester as well? Did you see that?
Yeah, I did, yeah. Stripy.
Green in the middle of bare at both ends.
I think they'll be in trouble with the...
Glamorgan are not happy.
No. I mean, apparently you are allowed to do it. I think it doesn't pass the sniff test for me. I think it's got to be an even covering of grass through the whole surface. How stripy can you make it then? Do you know, if it's a real, you know, if you're bottom of the table playing top of the table and you can't produce a minefield, but you can shave it so it's so stripy that, you know, you've got 10 mils of grass, no mils of grass, 10 mils of grass. So some are going to keep low or whatever. Some are going to, you know, seam all over the place, and
It's
you may
just
get
so
a complete
obvious. That's
luxury.
the thing. I mean, counties
Yeah,
have always prepared pitches to suit their bowling attacks, and very often one end is different from the other. But it's usually done fairly subtly, where you're not creating,
yeah,
green slab in the middle and bare ends. It was bizarre.
yeah. I'm not a fan of it. I think it should be even all the way through. Um, Mike Hudman has asked, "Well, it was an honest view of where you guys thought we were on Saturday evening, not the coach speak that we bowled in the right areas without any luck." Well, I think we've already covered that. I was confident that we, just needed one or two, and then we'd pry that door open, and victory would soon follow, which it did. Rightio then. Any more then before I got to go and start packing again?
No,
I think so.
I should be up at Hove on Wednesday evening. Looking forward to it.
Yep. Who's your co-commentator at Hove again?
Adrian Harms.
Adrian
Very
Harms,
nice
of
guy.
course, yeah.
Very, very nice guy. I don't know
Yeah.
who our third voice will be, but
Oh, maybe Toppers might moonlight again.
No,
Enjoys
I don't
watching
think so.
Somerset win so
Hopefully.
much.
we've had one or two dodgy ones at Hove in the past. So
Oh, have you?
hopefully he or she will be okay.
Fair enough. Well, I'm sure after his stint on the live stream, the president will be able to help out if required.
Yeah.
Good. Right, yeah. So probably won't be one next week. I don't think I'll be allowed to record from Disney. I think my family might have a thing or two to say about that. So it'll be a couple of weeks before we're with you again. But thanks for listening, and we'll catch up with you next time.